Well, back in 2017, England made it through to the semi-finals. They were beaten by Germany. A chance for Lee Carsley's Young Lions to lay those ghosts to rest as the two sets of players exchange handshakes before kick-off. Lee Carsley, the former Everton midfielder, in a warm embrace with the Israeli coach Guy Luzon ahead of kick-off as well. Darren Ambrose, in terms of where this game can be won, Emil Smith Rowe has had an excellent tournament so far. Morgan Gibbs-White, a brilliant end to the season for Manchester City. Are those two of the star men potentially?
Yeah, I'd say so. You can add Anthony Gordon to that as well. I think both Anthony Gordon and Emil Smith Rowe, both 2 goals apiece this tournament. And yeah, Morgan Gibbs-White seems to be the player. Didn't play at all against Germany, so they rested him there. But he can really, similar to Jacob Ramsey, breaks the lines. He's very positive. He gets the ball. He looks to dribble. He looks to through balls. He can hit shots. So I think he'll be disappointed. He hasn't contributed more in terms of goals and assists, but he can certainly do that today.
The referee is Morten Krogh from Denmark. The 2 skippers, Manchester City's Taylor Harwood-Bellis and Jill Cohen of Israel, just exchanging pennants. The winners of this semi-final will take on the victors when Spain and Ukraine face off later this evening. All being well, if England qualify, that match will be live on talksport on Saturday. England, the only team in the tournament yet to concede a goal, and it's been quite the week for James Trafford after we broke the news exclusively that he is on the verge of completing a £19 million move from Manchester City to Vincent Kompany's Burnley. That would make him, Darren Ambrose, the 17th most expensive goalkeeper in history.
I've been extremely impressed with James Trafford. I spoke about this on co-commentary against Germany. He's a monster of a man, 6'6", such a presence in the goal. And when you're in a defensive line, that's what you need behind you. And a couple of times they managed to get a half chance, Germany, and he was there to keep it out. And I've been extremely impressed, not only with his shot stopping, but his distribution, his positioning. So I can see why that Burnley are going to pay all this money for him, and hopefully he keeps another clean sheet today, and they go through the whole tournament without conceding.
Certainly no shortage of experience in this England side. 11 players aged over 21, 3 of them aged 23 or above. It was Morgan Gibbs-White right in the middle of the huddle leading the pre-match rallying cry, and it will be England's Young Lions, all in red, shooting from right to left in this first half to get this Under-21 European Championship semi-final underway. Israel, all in white, attacking the goal away to our right. Here is Harwood-Bellis, who spent last season on loan at Burnley, helping them to promotion to the Premier League. Plays it long towards the Israeli penalty area, and it's cleared away and will be picked up by Everton's James Garner in the bright yellow boots. Here's Curtis Jones of Liverpool on the halfway line, forward to the blonde-haired Smith Rowe. England expected to dictate possession. In fact, Israel have had the least average possession of any team in the tournament so far. Angel Gomez, once of Manchester United, now plays his club football over in France with Lille. He's had an impressive tournament as well in that holding midfield role. First touch for Luke Thomas, deputising with both Johnson and Aaron suspended. He can only run the ball out for a throw-in for Israel down by the corner flag, and I think this will be the first time that Israel have touched the ball.
Yes, it will, and you know, we spoke about this. They would need to frustrate England, not allow them to have a fast start, not allow them to dominate the match. But if you're England, you do exactly what you've done in the opening minute. I think they're already positive. They're already looking to get in behind immediately, and the interchange, the links between the midfield and the forward players dropping off. I love to watch that.
Gareth Southgate, the former England Under-21 manager himself, no doubt keeping a keen eye on proceedings. Harwood-Bellis in the yellow captain's armband comes over the halfway line, shifts the play out to the right-hand side. Opportunity maybe to get across into the area here with Garner. Up from right full-back, of course, is a centre midfielder by trade. Well, I'm sure Everton are keeping an eye on his performances during this tournament, and maybe Sean Dyche might be considering a change of role.
You can already see Israel dropping so deep. We're just 2 minutes into the game. They're dropping so deep, and Harwood-Bellis is pushing out. Levi Caldwell 10 yards into their half, the opposition half. So you can see they're trying to frustrate them, but they can't do this for much longer. If England end up scoring a goal, they're going to have to change, and the game's going to open up.
I have been a real underdog story of this tournament, Israel, when you consider it's only their third appearance at an under-21 European Championship. One of the previous two as hosts both ended in group stage elimination, and they were close to going out in the group stage before a last-minute winner against the Czech Republic. They did hold Germany to a draw, though. England will be aware of that. England heavy favourites to progress to the final at the weekend. Here's Curtis Jones, plays the ball down the left-hand side to Thomas. Going to put his domestic disappointment and Leicester's relegation behind him. And here's Emil Smith-Rowe. Out comes the goalkeeper. And Zarfati just about managed to claw the ball away, with Smith-Rowe bearing down 6 yards out.
Good play by England. Like I said, they're dominating it. They're going forward. They're positive. As soon as they get on the ball, they look to get in behind and break the lines. This time Emil Smith-Rowe broke the lines. Zarfati, great positioning, came out, didn't allow him to get the shot off. But it's positive. It's a positive start for England, and all they need to do is keep doing what they're doing. And when they get the opportunity, they need to take it.
The former Crystal Palace, Charlton, Ipswich midfielder Darren Ambrose alongside me, Alex Crook, on commentary duty here on talksport. 4 minutes gone. It's England under-21s 0, Israel under-21s 0. Lee Carsley will be relatively pleased with the way that his team have set about their task. After some nervy moments in the second half of that quarter-final win against Portugal, maybe count themselves a bit fortunate that after that game they still haven't conceded. Here comes Jaber for Israel down the right-hand side. Not a bad-looking ball in either. And it bounces high inside the penalty area, picked up by Gluck. Gluck forward into the box again. This looks like a promising attack from the Israelis. Can they get a shot away? Blocked by Harwood Bellis and then headed behind by Thomas, facing his own goal. Corner kick.
There's the danger. When Israel go forward, they've got nothing to lose. We mentioned this. England are clear favourites of this game, and when they go forward, they're looking to express themselves. I do love the fact that England got immediately back into shape, didn't allow them to get the shot off, conceded a corner, okay, but that's not the worst that could have happened in that attack.
Well, that man, Oscar Gluck, 19 years of age, is very much the danger man for Israel. Has already been capped at full international level, scored in the final of the under-19 Euros against England a year ago, and he has come across to take the corner, the first of the evening, from this right-hand side. Lots of jostling in that England penalty area. Gluck with the delivery, right-footed out, swinger, and it's smashed over the bar by Jaber.
Just switched off a little bit, England in defence there. I think it's a corner that's come from the training ground, has come from this the set piece coach, if they have one. One of those where the players are blocked, plays a short one into the front post, just got there first, and just blazed it over the bar. But they looking dangerous, Israel, when they go forward. They haven't scored many, as you said, in the tournament. 2 goals, I think, overall, to England's 7. So England are massive favourites, but they can't give them opportunities like they did there at the corner.
Well, from the goal kick, England launched it long upfield, and Anthony Gordon down by the left corner flag wasn't really going anywhere. He was unceremoniously barged over by Kam Jaber, the right wing back, and as a result of that, England have a free kick at a very promising position. A chance to ask some questions, maybe the standing goalkeeper Tomer Zarfati. Morgan Gibbs White, who trots across to take it. No more than 4 yards in from the touchline. Jeers from the Israeli contingent inside the ground. There are 5 red shirts to aim it in the centre. Gibbs White towards the far post, and it's headed over the bar by Colwill. He was off balance. Very difficult header to get on target.
Good delivery, maybe slightly overhit by Morgan Gibbs White, but when I'm watching it, I'm looking on the edge of the box. Curtis Jones, Emil Smith-Rowe, Angel Gomez on their own. I think all the Israel players are expecting the delivery. Maybe next time, maybe Lee Carsley, whoever it may be, will tell Morgan Gibbs White, just have a look on the edge of the box. If they're going to drop that deep, they're on their own for a free strike at goal. Maybe next time we might see that happen.
Maybe a surprise they didn't just swing the ball in towards the goalkeeper, bearing in mind that Daniel Peretz, who has been the number 1, is suspended after picking up 2 yellow cards. He was the hero of the penalty shootout win against Georgia in the quarter-finals, and he also saved 2 penalties in the group game against Germany. So big pressure on Zarfati this evening.
I mean, when I played and I was taking set plays, particularly the wide ones, I would always do that. The opening couple of wide free kicks I'd hit towards the goalkeeper just to test him. Sometimes they'd just catch it and it made my delivery look poor, but sometimes he drops it or he tips it over the bar and you think, right, he's nervous. So yeah, they need to test him a little bit more.
Still goalless, 8 minutes into this Under-21 European Championship semi-final. England against Israel live on talksport 2. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe. He's going to have a few new teammates when he gets back to the Arsenal dressing room. The gunner's pretty close, we understand, to completing the move for the Ajax fullback Jurrien Timber. Fee agreed with West Ham for Declan Rice. He'll undergo medical on Friday. That British record move, and Kai Havertz already in the building. Bearing in mind Smith-Rowe didn't start a single Premier League game last season, might find it difficult to force his way into that Arsenal lineup.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a big season for Smith-Rowe. Maybe he's got some decisions to make. He's having a fantastic tournament. He might be showing Mikel Arteta that he is good enough to step into the Arsenal first side, but maybe a loan move might be on the cards for Smith-Rowe if they continue to sign players and get them over the line, because he's good enough and he needs to be playing. He needs game time. It's a big season for him.
Here's Curtis Jones, the Liverpool midfielder, on the halfway line for England after a teasing diagonal pass from Harwood Bellis was cut out by Jaber down that Israeli right-hand side. England looking to attack over on the far side now as we look. They're midway inside the Israeli half. It's back with Angel Gomez, the pint-sized midfielder. He asked a bit of Emil Smith-Rowe with the aerial ball, but Smith-Rowe did well to keep the ball in play on his chest. Rolls it out to the edge of the area, and Curtis Jones, poor pass from him, given straight back to Jones by Jill Cohen. A shot from distance high over the crossbar from Gomez. Goalkeeper always confident, I think, that it was rising, and it's behind for a goal kick. It remains goalless.
Yeah, love to see that. Angel Gomez, I mean, he's 30 odd yards out, but I mean, I love to shoot from that distance, and like we was just talking in terms of the free kick, test the goalkeeper. You got to hit the target, and he didn't, but I don't mind that positive play from Gomez, and I love the touch from Smith. I think he brought it down on his chin after that delivery across the play, and it was good play all round from England there.
Angel Gomez went viral after the quarter-final for his wild celebrations after England took the lead against Portugal, bearing in mind that his dad is a former Portuguese international. Certainly Gomez making it abundantly clear where his loyalties lie. 10 gone here, still goalless on talksport 2, but England dictating the play as we expected. And Israel struggling really to keep possession for more than a couple of passes. It's launched long upfield by Stav Lemkin of Maccabi Tel Aviv. Most of these Israeli players do play their club football in the Israeli League. Now Harwood Bellis picks it up inside the centre circle for England.
It's poor by Lemkin there. I think when Israel get the ball, they need to just string a few passes together, because England are so dominating this game so much. It's incredible at the moment. You can see that all the players are within 10 yards forward of the halfway line of the England side, and if Israel get the ball, just string a few passes, try and cause England a little bit of problems, try and let them retreat, but that was poor play by Lemkin.
Here come England down their right-hand side with Cole Palmer. Forced back towards the halfway line, Palmer, and his loose ball ricochets kindly into the path of Jones, but they're going to have to start again here with Harwood Bellis just inside England territory. Here's Colwill, spent last season on loan at Brighton. They're desperate to sign him permanently. Pochettino wants him to stay at Chelsea. Luke Thomas can't keep possession down by the corner flag, and it's cleared upfield by Israel, but anywhere will do right now. And Curtis Jones wins it back high up the field. Rides a couple of challenges. Jones makes his way towards the penalty area. Slide ball passing towards Gibbs White. Half cleared, and again England will have to go all the way back to Colwill, deep inside their own half. At the moment it feels like a matter of time until the Young Lions take the lead. They haven't created too many opportunities in his first 12 minutes. That was a poor ball out the right-hand side, all the way over the head of Cole Palmer and out for an Israeli throw.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy by England so far in this match, and I think they're a little bit narrow. We see that when We've seen that when Curtis Jones gets the ball, he comes in, there's no real width, and that's what we spoke about him before. That's what Madueke gave them, particularly in the first few games, the Germany games in particular, and England.
Well, the goalkeeper has made a mistake, and Emil Smith-Rowe from point-blank range cleared off the line. How did that stay out? Still England come forward. Smith-Rowe again with a shot, and clawed onto the post by Zarfati. Two huge opportunities, but the referee has pointed for an England penalty. Was it Anthony Gordon who was brought down in the build-up to that effort from Smith-Rowe? And with 13 minutes played, it's a gilt-edged opportunity to take the lead. Gordon initially, who put the pressure on the goalkeeper, poor pass straight to Gibbs White, rolled it back to Smith-Rowe, had to score, really hit the Israeli defender on the line. I'm just trying to watch a replay, Darren Ambrose, of the penalty award. Smith-Rowe with a shot, and as Gordon came in for the follow-up, well, he was caught by Jaber. It was only the faintest contact, but enough for the Danish referee to point for a penalty. A little bit harsh?
For me, that's a little bit harsh. I think he may have got the ball there. I think they're checking this on VAR. I think this may be overturned. First and foremost, Alex, I think they need to score. They need to score initially. It's a poor mistake initially by the defender, then Zarfati, who tries to get the ball, let it run across his body, shut down quickly by Smith-Rowe. They win it. It lands at Gibbs White, back to Smith-Rowe. He has to score that for me. And then when it comes back in again, he has to score it again. Fantastic save from Zarfati, kind of made up for the mistake initially by pushing it onto the post. I think this may be overturned.
It looks like the check is over. The Israeli players still surround the Danish official. In fact, he's just put his left finger to his ear. At the moment, Anthony Gordon is bouncing the ball around. Looks like he'll take it. I think James Garner is just protecting the penalty spot on behalf of his teammate. Still, we await a definitive answer as to if this penalty will stand. I mentioned Peretz and the number of penalties that he saved at this tournament. Can Thomas Zarfati, if needed, come to Israel's rescue?
I think what they're looking at, we haven't obviously seen on our screens the different angles and the angle that's probably needed. They'll be looking at all angles. So is there enough to overturn it and say it's not a penalty? I mean, that remains to be seen.
It looked minimal contact.
It did look minimal contact. It looked like he actually won the ball, and then it went off for a corner kick. So I'm interested to see what VAR say.
He hasn't been called over to the screen yet, the referee. Still in conversation with the Israel captain Cohen. I think it was Jaber, the right wing back, who was adjudged to have sent Gordon tumbling. The longer this goes on, the more England may fear that it will be overturned. Harwood Bellis up there, the captain, is also putting his two penneth in. We played 16 minutes officially. We're watching a replay now. Well,
we didn't win the ball.
He certainly didn't win the ball.
But did Gordon put his leg into the defender?
Well,
I'm going to withdraw what I said. I think that is a penalty, actually.
Well, the check is over. The VAR agree with Darren Ambrose, and England have the opportunity here to move a giant step closer to the final. Lee Carsley looks relaxed enough. Guy losing his opposite number, far from happy. And it will be Morgan Gibbs White looking for only his second under-21 goal to give England the advantage from 12 yards. Takes a slow, measured run up, Gibbs White. Zarfati, the standing goalkeeper, is positioned in the middle of the goal. He's pointing to the right corner, trying to psych out Gibbs White. Big moment this, right at the start of the game. Gibbs White with a penalty, and he's put it wide. That is a shocking effort from Morgan Gibbs White. Maybe the mind games from Zarfati got into his head. He tried to side foot it into the bottom left-hand corner. It shaves the upright, and it remains England 0, Israel 0.
That's poor by Morgan Gibbs White. I think you're right. I think the mind games got to him. I think Zarfati done everything. He was pointing to the right top corner, and then Morgan Gibbs White went to the bottom left, the goalkeeper's bottom left, his bottom right. It's a poor penalty. You shouldn't miss the target from 12 yards, and especially, I think it was about a yard and a half wide. I mean, the penalty initially was soft. We did say that. It wasn't enough to overturn to not give it. Anthony Gordon threw his leg into the defender. They gave the penalty in the end, but poor penalty by Gibbs White, and he's going to be disappointed with that.
So much penalty drama when it comes to Israel in this tournament. More already tonight. Gibbs White with a glaring miss as Israel come forward down the right hand side with Jaber. He'll be the most relieved man inside the stadium, having conceded that penalty. I just wonder, Anthony Gordon, having initially taken the ball, why he didn't step up and take the spot kick.
We've seen that before, haven't we, in the Premier League, in different leagues this season. It's mind games. The players are surrounding them, especially with the VAR check, and maybe always Morgan Gibbs White's going to take it, but they're taking the pressure off and then gives him the ball at the last minute, and that's what he seems to have done, but it didn't work.
The goalkeeper was pointing to that right-hand corner. Gibbs White went the other way. I guess the goalkeeper's mind games did their job.
I mean, we're never going to know. We're never going to know if Gibbs White wanted to put it in that corner and the mind games paid off. But I think if you're a penalty taker, and it doesn't matter what you forget what the goalkeeper's doing. It was just a poor penalty all round, and to miss the target a yard wide of the post. I think he needs to put that out of his mind now. Gibbs White, he's had a great tournament so far, and needs to make up for that and create something for his team.
So still 0-0. 19 minutes played here on talksport 2. Header from Smith Rowe into the path of Gordon. Gordon nods it down to Gibbs White. Smith Rowe has continued to drive forward on that left-hand side. Lovely footwork from him, skipping away from Oscar Gluck, and then switches the play out to Palmer, down the England right. He's got Garner on the overlap, but comes infield for Smith Rowe instead. Bit of space on the left-hand side for Thomas, should they choose to use him, and they do, England. Still looking very confident in possession despite that missed penalty setback. And Levi Colwill plays the ball into midfield, where it's collected by Angel Gomez, and he's caught by a very late challenge, and the yellow card immediately has been shown to Dor Turgeman.
Poor challenge by Turgeman. The pass was a little bit short into Gomez, and it was the follow through. He did initially win the ball, but the follow through landed right on the top of Gomez's foot, and that looks a sore one. And I think it's the yellow card's definitely the right decision.
Well, the first booking of the game goes for the Israeli number 11, the 19-year-old who scored in that famous 1-1 draw against Germany in the group stage. Gomez, meanwhile, is down and receiving treatment. A lot of Manchester United fans actually have been suggesting, looking at Gomez in this tournament, that maybe United made a mistake by releasing him.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a fantastic tournament. He looks a neat and tidy football player in the middle of the park, and we're already seeing in this game, 20 minutes in, he rarely gives the ball away. He looks to dominate possession, and he has taken a sore one there, to be honest, and he looks like he's getting a bit of treatment now. I think he'll be okay, but it's one of those when the studs get on the top of the foot. Poor pass initially into him, played it a little bit too short, and he's tried to just dink it over the player's leg, but he's got the studs right into the top. He is up, he looks okay.
It's been a very stop-start last 5 or 6 minutes with that long VAR check for the penalty that was subsequently put wide by Gibbs White. Now this injury for Gomez, who is back on his feet, and Gibbs White stands over the free kick. It's almost plumb in the centre of the Israeli half in Batumi. And Gibbs White puts both arms above his head, which is a signal to his teammates that he's going to hoist it into the area. Colwill was the target, headed away by Turgeman, and it's out for an England throw down by the corner flag. Don't forget, the Women's World Cup gets underway in a couple of weeks' time, Saturday, July the 22nd, 10:30 in the morning, England women against Haiti women. We've also got live commentary that Wednesday of Canada women against Republic of Ireland. All of the Lionesses and the Republic of Ireland games live, either here on talksport 2 or over on talksport. We do plan to have commentary of the final of the Under-21 European Championships this coming Saturday, should England get there. At the moment it remains could rather than would, because it's still goalless. Almost reached the midway point of the first half.
Sorry, on this showing that they have to score sooner or later. I mean, Israel's so deep at the moment and just inviting pressure. Already missed a penalty. We've got to talk about Smith Rowe in a minute as well, because he has to score those.
Yeah, two big chances in quick succession. Ball floated in towards the far post. Jones was lurking, just skips away from him at the last moment and out for a goal kick.
I think that's all Lee Carsley will be disappointed that they haven't scored yet. Like I said, the Smith Rowe chance, okay, they missed the penalty, but initially it should have been a goal anyway. I think they had so much time winning the ball from Zarfati, the Israeli goalie, that they didn't really know what to do with it. Initially, Smith Rowe didn't even need to have a touch of the ball. He did try to place it, cleared off the line, ended up getting back to him. Gibbs White played it across the box. He hit a nice, neat side-footed effort into the middle of the goal, which allowed Zarfati just to push it against the post before they won the penalty. But I think, even though they missed the penalty, I think they'll be disappointed they didn't score initially.
Lee Carsley patrolling his technical area. Stepped up from under-20s coach back in July of 2021, replacing Aidy Boothroyd, who described this as an impossible job. England's record actually in recent under-21 tournaments maybe backs him up. They've only got out of the group stage once in the last 6 tournaments before this summer.
I mean, that there is incredible. You think of the talent and the quality that England have in all levels of football. We've seen the 20s, the 19s will win the World Cups and big trophies like that, and then England under-21s have just been poor. But as you said before, Lee Carsley, 14 games I think taken charge, won 12, drew 1, lost 1, so he's not making it look impossible at the moment.
Here's Smith Rowe, 3 full England caps to his name. Back here trying to drive the under-21s to glory. Gordon making his way towards the penalty area, stopped in his tracks by Cohen. England still have it though out on the right hand side with Palmer. Now Gomez back towards the halfway line. Israel as expected, keeping everybody back behind the ball, trying to reduce the space that England have to play, and the ball has just rolled under the studs of Luke Thomas and out for a throw. Curtis Jones looks a bit frustrated that Thomas couldn't get on the end of that.
I think frustration is the word you're correctly using there, and I think the whole England side are frustrated at the moment. It's too easy at the moment. It's like a training game, attack versus defence, and we've seen that one slight opportunity for Israel when they got in the box and ended up England conceding a corner, but it's too easy, and they've just got to do enough, got to do something to break this Israeli defence down, because as you said, they don't score many, so as soon as England get the initial goal, Israel will have to change a game, and it will open up space.
Foul given against Anthony Gordon, just leaning on Jaber. Gordon, who's playing in that false number 9 role, got the winner against Portugal in the quarter-finals, but was actually annoyed with himself for the number of opportunities that he spurned. Also scored a header in the group game against Israel. I know that Newcastle have been watching this tournament with interest, and it's a role that maybe Anthony Gordon could play for them next season. Perhaps save them having to bring in a new centre forward in the transfer window with budget restraints at St James's Park. Got another stoppage in play here because Herjaj is down holding his shoulder, is now back on his feet, and England have possession with Gomez. Now the skipper Harwood Bellis will come forward into the centre circle. 0-0 the score. You're listening to talksport 2. The game is almost being played at a walking pace now. Everybody in white back behind the ball. England in their retro red jerseys with a blue collar, a throwback to the days of David Platt and the like in the early 90s, but they've given it away here. They've given it away cheaply, and Israel with the opportunity to counter. Turgaman had nobody in support. He side foots it way wide from the edge of the penalty area, but it was just sloppy play from England playing their way out from the back. Levi Colwell, I think, almost just lost concentration and passed it straight to the opposition.
I mean, Israel are playing a game plan, and at the moment it's working fantastically well. They know England are going to dominate possession, which they are. They know they're going to have more chances, which they are. They're looking to counter. They're looking for any slight mistake, and this time it was Levi Colwell. I mean, the corner's been given to Israel. I didn't see a deflection taken, but I mean, this is dangerous. They're playing their perfect counter-attacking game.
Corner from the left-hand side. Jaber gets on the end of it and nods it towards the far corner. and it was Morgan Gibbs-White who, facing his own goal, had to be sure and prodded it behind for another corner.
Could have gone anywhere, that. I think Morgan Gibbs-White thought the Israel player was closer to him when he looked behind him, but he wasn't. He hadn't made the move in. I think it was Gluck standing behind him. He hadn't moved in, stuck his leg out, could have gone anywhere, ended up going for another corner.
Gluck from the right-hand side. 28 minutes played. England nil, Israel nil. Israel's third corner. James Trafford organising his back line. Gluck with a delivery, and again he picks out a teammate in the centre, and this time it's Lemkin who heads wide from 6 yards.
I mean, the reaction of the Israel players tells me that this is their game plan. Try and win set plays, because they're a big side. They've won nearly everything that's come into the box in terms of their corners. They're always first to get their head onto it, so I think the hands on their head, thinking we need to make these count, because it's too easy initially for England. They're trying too much to play these little through balls into the forward. I think it was Colwill tried to hit Anthony Gordon, an impossible pass, and that's what caused the counter-attack.
Well, the big moment of the game so far, for those of you maybe just coming in from work, Morgan Gibbs-White putting a penalty wide. Smith Rowe in the build-up to that spot kick awarded. Also saw an effort tipped onto the post by the Israeli goalkeeper Al-Fati. But Israel have been a threat on the counter, certainly from those set pieces. Here's Curtis Jones, left-hand side for England, into Smith Rowe, works it cleverly into Thomas. Thomas's cross is blocked, and Smith Rowe tries but fails to keep it alive. And the ball is out now for an Israel throw, 5 yards shy of their own 18-yard box.
I mean, at the moment, seem to be running out of ideas, and it's stupid to say that. I know, not even half an hour gone, but I think it's a little bit laboured. When you've got two wide players, I played wide left, and I'm right-footed. Obviously, Smith Rowe is wide, he's right-footed. Cole Palmer, I think, is left-footed, he's playing on the right. So when they drift in, which they rightly will, and they should, it's when you need Luke Thomas. It's when you need James Garner to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more desire to get behind them, and they create the width. At the moment, it's not quite happening.
Well, again, with James Garner, because he plays central midfield for Everton, his natural tendency is always going to be to drift inside, isn't it?
Yes, so that's exactly right. And Cole Palmer, obviously, he's drifting inside with his left foot. James Garner's drifting inside, so particularly on the right side, hardly any width at the moment.
Alwyn Bellis with a switch of play out to Smith Rowe. Level with the 18-yard line, down this near side the left, into Curtis Jones now, 10 yards outside the area, shifts the ball out to the right, and Garner. He links up with Palmer. Now Garner again for England. 0-0 the score. They are finding Israel tough nut to crack at the moment. Here's Harwood Bellis well forward from the back. Thomas has made an eye-catching run on the left side of the penalty area, but England have gone out to the right instead of Palmer. Plenty of white shirts blocking his route to goal. And Palmer, under pressure, is forced to just toe punt the ball out for a throw.
Just a little bit slow, a little bit sloppy by England at the moment, the last 5 minutes. Since the penalty miss, actually, it seems that's affected them a little bit in terms of their game plan. But as you said, they've got to try and break Israel down. And just then, on the England attack, within 35 yards of their own goal, they're playing 4-4-2, all 11 men behind the ball.
Here's Gomez now, into Curtis Jones. Jones with the switch of play out to the left of Thomas. 31 on the clock. England trying desperately to find a way through, find the breakthrough goal. A little back heel from Gibbs-White, but maybe too intricate. And here come Israel on the counter. Like there was maybe a foul off the ball by Garner. Referee, to be fair, tried to play advantage and then realised there wasn't one, and Israel have a free kick in the centre of their own half away to our left.
All a little bit too much by England in and around the penalty box, trying one too many passing, and we see Angel Gomez in the first 10 minutes got the ball 30 yards out, shot, okay, went over. I think someone needs to get it on their foot 20 yards out, hit a shot, try and make the goalkeeper work, try and make the defenders retreat a little bit further back than they actually are, because I mean they're not causing much problems with the one too many passing.
Here's Curtis Jones deep inside his own half. He does have a good array of passing, but he opts the short ball to Gomez. Gomez then shifts it to his right. Garner, England have had 64% possession, as expected. But apart from the penalty and the immediate chances before the spot kick was awarded, Israel haven't had too many moments of concern. I guess the whole whole game plan goes out the window from an Israeli perspective if and when England score. Chip forward, out from the back, and that's a lovely piece of control by Oscar Gluck, the 19-year-old, and then he almost pirouettes his way beyond Curtis Jones. It was balletic from the 19-year-old Gluck.
Good word. What does it mean?
It was a ballet move.
He's good. Gluck, he's impressed me. I've heard a lot of people speak highly of him. I think already being linked to the likes of Arsenal, City, Manchester United, whether those rumours are true, but he's showing what he can do against England.
Well, his performances in this tournament certainly have not done him any harm in that regard. Here's Colwill forward to Smith Rowe with those socks rolled down to the ankles. He's giving the ball away. Picked up by Laus. And then Garner, as he went to clear the ball, feels he was upended. The referee disagrees. And it's going to be a throw-in for Israel over on the far side of the field.
I mean, for me, that's a free kick. I mean, I've not seen the replay back, but you don't need to do that. If he gets beyond the Israel defender, he's in. He's counter-attacking, so he's gone down for a reason, but the referee was having none of it.
11 minutes plus a fair bit of stoppage time remaining in this first half. England 0, Israel 0. You're listening to talksport 2 in the company of Alex Crook and the former England under-21 international Darren Ambrose. Here's Gluck trying to wriggle away from a couple of England players again. Actually got away from two of them. It was Morgan Gibbs-White who came in to wrestle back possession. Gibbs-White, who played a big role in Nottingham Forest relegation great escape at the end of the season, following that big money summer transfer from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Here he is again. It's his penalty miss at the moment that might prove costly for England. Gibbs-White forward to Gomez. Gomez shifts the ball quickly out to the right hand side, where it's picked up by Cole Palmer. Palmer coming in his left foot, maybe needed Garner to make the overlapping run. Palmer chips it into the area, looking for Gordon, who's had to feed on scraps really to this point. Smith Rowe then wins it back well just on the edge of the box, and England retreat all the way to Jones on the halfway line. Here's Gomez into Colwill. Now Harwood Bellis, the captain, stretching those long legs. Harwood Bellis, and he ciphers it out to the right, and Cole Palmer. Garner takes over, but again 10 white Israeli shirts camped deep inside their own territory. Here's Gordon hugging the left touchline now. Gordon try and take on Jaber. He showed a little bit too much of it in the end to Eli Herjaj, and then in desperation to try and win it back was brought down the Maccabi Haifa midfielder, and Israel have a free kick.
I think the danger and the difficulty the England side have is when Israel are playing like this, no more than 5-10 yards between the back line and the midfield line. It's hard to find those little gaps, and when you have Anthony Gordon, Emil Smith Rowe, Morgan Gibbs-White, quite smallish players, they like to come in, try and find that little space. They can't. Maybe Lee Carsley might look to his bench, might look at a Cameron Archer, because you need to use width. Madueke, we've spoken highly about him already. You need the width. You need someone that's going to cause a few more problems. And with Cameron Archer, I see when he played against Germany, he's always looking to move and get on the end, and he's looking to get in behind. You can't find the gaps when they're this close to each other, and England are finding it difficult.
Here's Harwood Bellis, guides it out to the far side, and Palmer, but the pass lacks a bit of pace, and it's immediately picked up by Israel. And straight away, Revivo comes forward down the left-hand side. Two to aim at in the centre, in the form of Turgaman and Herjaj. Here's Gluck now, who isn't afraid to get a long-range shot away. Gomez alert to that, and slides in to poke the ball out for a throw on the left-hand side. You can see the Israeli game plan, and I guess if you're their coach, Guy Luzon, will be pretty happy 37 minutes in.
He will be happy. England playing sloppy crossfield balls, trying to play them square.
But the goalkeeper again with a pass out from the back straight to Gibbs-White. That accuracy there as he played it forward for Curtis Jones. Smith Rowe knew that he was coming back from an offside position, so just had to stand and watch, but he's had the ball at his feet. Tomaz Al-Fati, he has looked fallible. Here's Jones inside the box, look for a teammate in the centre, but wants to play it Out to Garner. Garner with a cross towards Gibbs White, headed away by Lemkin. And the shot from Jones charged down on the edge of the area. I guess what England need to try and do is to invite Israel onto them and hope they leave some gaps in behind. It's been a very disciplined performance so far. Gomez now a couple of yards in Israeli territory. Smith Rowe did well to keep that alive because the pass was actually undercooked. Here's Jones now, again forced back to the halfway line by the hard-working Turgeman. Garner plays it out to the right-hand side. James Garner almost adopting that John Stones role by dropping into the centre of midfield when England are in possession. The right back. We're going to see a lot of that hybrid midfielder. Ben White might well be asked to do that for Arsenal once Urian Timber arrives next season. Here come Israel, but good starting position from the goalkeeper Trafford, and he rather ballooned his clearance out for a throw. He is regarded as a modern goalkeeper, someone comfortable with the ball at his feet. Trafford, he didn't look it there. Might England pay the price for that, because there's an opportunity in the shot. Fizz wide. Gandelman up from the back. England switched off at the throw-in, and Trafford is relieved. Gandelman couldn't get the shot on target, almost bounced off his shin and wide.
Good effort from Gandelman. Israel showing a little bit of quality in the final third for the first time, really, you'd have to say. I think England are causing their own problems by these sloppy square balls, and they're just intercepting. And that time it was James Trafford in goal, just ballooning it out of play and just causing issues that don't need to happen at the moment. And good effort by Israel.
Still goalless. 6 minutes of the first half remaining, plus added on time. Ball floating out to the left for Thomas, but it's Gomez, and needlessly aggressive the pass. Thomas trying to grapple with Jaber down by the right corner flag. Jaber held firm, and it's behind for a goal kick.
You'd have to say the only real opportunities England have had have come from mistakes by Israel as well. I think particularly Zarfati trying to play it out from the back. However much England have dominated the game in terms of possession, one shot on target I can remember, and that was the lead up to the penalty. Nothing else.
Was cleared off the line from Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe then seeing his rebound effort turned onto the post by the keeper, and the penalty missed well wide from Morgan Gibbs White. Apart from that, Israel's back line have kept England at bay well. Here's Gordon trying to get in behind, but goalkeepers are fatty alert and races to collect the ball on the edge of the box. And England clearly have the stronger of the two benches. You wonder if those subs may be needed in the second half to get Lee Carsley's men over the line.
I think what he'll do is he'll allow them maybe 10-15 minutes in the second half, but then yeah, he's definitely going to be making some changes.
England coming into this match winning 4 consecutive games at a major tournament for the first time since the Toulon tournament when Gareth Southgate was manager back in 2016. Still haven't conceded a goal. James Trafford hasn't really been called into action despite Israel posing a threat from set pieces. Their finishing has been wayward when they have had the opportunity. Here's Curtis Jones down the left hand side to Emile Smith Rowe. Wolf whistles from the Israeli contingent inside the ground. Harwood Bellis allowed to come forward. Israel content to sit deep and let England have possession in midfield. In comes the cross towards Gibbs White with a header, and Morgan Gibbs White steers England into the lead and atones for his penalty miss. Lee Carsley's men a huge stride closer to the final of these under-21 European Championships. Brilliant delivery, a bullet header, and all of a sudden it looks a whole lot brighter for England. Gibbs White from villain to hero. It is England 1, Israel 0.
What a header. What a header by Gibbs White. And we said, didn't we, when he missed the penalty, that he needs to do something for England. He'd be desperate to make amends for the penalty miss, and he's certainly done that. And we also spoke about the goal needs to come from the wide players, and this time it was Cole Palmer cutting to the left. Lovely delivery. The timing of the header was perfect. and Zarfati had no chance, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that after his penalty miss. What a header.
Well, it's only his second under-21 goal. Morgan Gibbs-White, he'll be feeling much, much better after that penalty miss. And England, after a largely frustrating first half in Batumi, have the breakthrough goal. And that should be the springboard for a place in the final on Saturday.
It should. They need to do something different, Israel. Absolutely. They, dropping too deep. But we spoke about it. James Garner, as soon as Cole Palmer came in, James Garner wasn't laboured. He got round the outside, which allowed Cole Palmer a little bit of space because the defender dropped with Garner. Played a brilliant ball into the box, and I love that header because he headed it straight back where it came from, over the Zarfati's head, and no chance. And he'll be the happiest man in the stadium at the moment. And Israel have to change their style of play, particularly in the second half. Will open up gaps, and England could score many more now.
What was that stat you had before kick-off? The last 13 games in which England have scored?
Last 13 games. If they score first, they've won 13 consecutive games from England 21's. So, looking a tough task for Israel, looking to counter-attack them, as we said, but they need to change. They need to do something. They'll get into half-time. Their coach needs to tell them a different game plan now. So you can see gaps opening up in the second half, and maybe this is definitely going to change the team talk by Lee Carsley as well.
Yeah, just 90 seconds of the regulation, 45 to play. There will be probably 4 minutes at least added on at the end of that, of that long delay between the penalty being awarded and the VAR check being concluded. Penalty side-footed wide by Gibbs-White, but it's his header that has given England the lead, and they have a free kick inside the centre circle, which Levi Colwill stands over. Not exactly sure what's happening here. The referee has asked Colwill to wait, finally takes the kick. It's played out to the right, and Cole Palmer, whose teasing cross created the opportunity for Gibbs-White to head home. He's been pretty critical of Zarfati and his distribution at times, but not much he could have done to keep that header out.
No, it's a perfect header, perfect example, more like a centre-forward header, that by Morgan Gibbs-White, and like I said, he wanted to make amends for his penalty miss, and he's certainly done that. And I said changes could be made. I think we'll leave that for a little while. Lee Carsley will change his team talk at half-time, give them an opportunity to go out, and Israel need to attack England now, and the game's going to open up, particularly in the last half an hour. There's going to be space, and maybe that's the time you start seeing the pace of Cameron Archer and Noni Madueke.
England, you feel, have Israel exactly where they want them. Another free kick, which they're in no real hurry to take. We're into 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Ball is at the feet of the captain, Holmer Bellis. Now played out to the left, and Curtis Jones. Jones, who had a real impact for Liverpool at the end of the season as they launched that ultimately ill-fated surge for a Champions League place. He's got plenty of competition in midfield as well when he returns to Melwood. Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai, the Hungarian, both vying to take his position. England in possession with James Garner, but in no real hurry to get the ball forward in stoppage time at the end of the first half. They lead 1-0 here on talksport 2, and the ball is played down the left to Emil Smith-Rowe. Certainly has been a driving force for the young Lions, despite missing a couple of really good opportunities. One shot cleared off the line, the follow-up turned onto the post by Zarfati. When you look at the overall 47 minutes or so, Darren Ambrose, you can't argue that England deserved to be in front.
No, dominated the game in terms of possession, in terms of goal mouth action. Not much happened apart from the penalty, which was missed. Poor penalty by Morgan Gibbs-White, who know that. But other than that, I think it's just a matter of being patient and breaking down the Israel team, I think. And they've done that in a way that we spoke about, getting down the wide, particularly the right hand side, with Cole Palmer cutting in, because Emil Smith Rowe likes to drift in a bit more than Cole Palmer. He played a fantastic cross into the box, so it's changed the game plan for Israel, and we'll have to see how they react and come out in the second half.
Reminder, the winners of this semi-final will take on either Spain or Ukraine in the final, 5 o'clock on Saturday. If it is England, it will be live on talksport. And they are halfway to achieving that dream. Having last reached the final back in 2009, they haven't won this competition since 1984, England, when the likes of Gary Mabbott, Steve Hodge and Danny Wallace were in the team. And when you look at the quality of players that they've had at this age group, that is criminal, really, to have gone so long without lifting the trophy. Again, they've slowed it right down here, England. It is a very humid evening in Batumi, just conserving their energy as we literally tiptoe towards half-time. In fact, there is the half-time whistle. So they will once again line up with James Trafford in goal, his 57th game of the season. It's a back four of Ghana, Harwood Bellis, Cole Will and Luke Thomas, who's in at left back, with Gomez and Curtis Jones in the holding midfield roles. And then it's Palmer, Gibbs-White and Smith Rowe in behind Anthony Gordon up front. I think Israel are unchanged as well. Zarfati is deputising in goal. It's a back three of Lemkin, Cohen and Gandelman, Jaber and Ravivo, the wing-backs, Ajulai, who's seen very little of the ball, Gluck and Herjaj in midfield, Turgeman on a yellow card alongside Hisham Layouz up front. The Danish referee is about to get us back underway here on talksport 2, second half of this Under-21 European Championship semi-final. England leading Israel by 1-0, and it's Israel all in white, shooting from right to left in the second half, who get us underway. Good noise levels from the Israeli fans. I mentioned already they're heavily outnumbering their England counterparts, but the England fans who are here enjoyed the nutmeg from Smith Rowe on Jaber, and a chance for Smith Rowe to get a shot away from the edge of the area, straight into the arms of Zarfati. Could have been awkward, he bounced in front of the keeper, but actually real venom the shot, and it remains 1-0 to England.
Positive start to the second half by England. I think you could already see the first 10 seconds of Israel's play. They're not so deep anymore. They've got 3 players up front. They're trying to create an opportunity. They're trying to give England something to think about. They won the ball, Smith Rowe, and he had a chance immediately.
Yeah, good spell of pressure early in the second half from England. Gomez has prodded the ball into the feet of Jones. Jones with the opportunity maybe to get across into the box. There are plenty of white shirts back there now. Thomas bombing on from left back, Jones infield to Gomez, and I just wonder if England maybe could have got the ball in the box quicker. They've been forced all the way back to halfway now with Jones. And Gomez just stabs the pass into the centre circle, and Harwood Bellis does well to find Gordon with his back to goal, but room to run into. Neat pass into Palmer, who just seemed to lose control in the vital moment, and maybe Israel can counter. Gomez has done well to stop the captain Cohen in his tracks, and it's back with Smith Rowe now inside the centre circle. 3 red shirts ahead of him, but outnumbered again England inside that Israel half, so they go all the way back to James Garner, and it's with Harwood Bellis now just inside England territory. Here's Gibbs-White down the right hand side. In fact, that's a bit of a change in this second half, Darren Ambrose, that Gibbs-White has come out to the right. Emil Smith Rowe now in the number 10 position. In fact, as I say that, Gibbs-White again has come in field. A lot of fluidity amongst those 3 in behind Gordon. Doesn't have too many opportunities, Anthony Gordon, to add to the 2 goals that he's already scored in this tournament.
We've already seen a change to Israel as well. Herjaj, Layouz, Turgeman, Gluck, they're all further forward than they were in the first half, and we're only in the 3rd minute of this second half, so they're already trying to give England a few more problems this second half, but this is going to open up, and definitely England will find some spaces, and we've already seen in the opening minutes of this second half, already seen a chance for Smith Rowe.
England have exited in the group stage at each of the last two under-21 Euros. They are edging closer to a place in the final on Saturday. Good ball into Gibbs White, who maybe should have just knocked that into the path of Smith Rowe. He went for the shot, fires it into the side netting, but it's a difficult technique to take the ball from the sky and get it on target.
I mean, he's good enough, he's got the technique, he's got the ability to do that, but you are right, as the ball went over, he tried to hit it on the left foot volley over his shoulder, but Emil Smith Rowe had made the move inside, a little slip back into him.
Well, again, Israel playing their way into trouble, trying to play it out from the back. Anthony Gordon with the shot, takes a big deflection and spoons behind for a corner. First real sight of goal for the Newcastle winger, and England's first corner of the game.
Poor play pass, trying to pass it out from the back by Israel, and found Curtis Jones, played a no-look pass into Anthony Gordon, and back foot nutmegged, and then just put it wide via a slight deflection. Great start to this second half by England.
Actually a good block by Stav Lemkin, right in front of his own goal. Corner to be taken by Palmer in the pink footwear. England all in red, taking the goal away to our right. In swinging delivery, well defended by Israel because it was a tasty looking ball. Still alive. Jones on the left corner of the penalty area, looking to cut in on his right foot, then goes back out on his left, and again a bit reluctant to get the ball into the mixer. Smith Rowe into the feet of Gomez, just on the edge of the centre circle. Gomez plays it all the way back to Trafford, the goalkeeper, who still hasn't really had cause to get his gloves dirty. Trafford, who had already kept twice as many clean sheets as any other keeper in the tournament coming into this semi-final.
I think if you're Harwood Bellis or Levi Carwell, you'll be frustrated there with Curtis Jones. Just put it in the box. You can understand if they're not forward, because we have got a small front line, but they're two big centre-halves, and they've come up for the corner, and he didn't want to put it into the box. I think there should be some questions asked to say, just throw it in there and let us try and get at the end of it.
Here is Palmer again, roaming down the right for England, cutting inside the Manchester City midfield. Kept the ball really well, England, in the first 6 minutes of this second half. Gibbs White forward to Gordon, shoved to the floor, but fair tackle, says the Danish referee, and Israel with a chance to come forward, but again it's a wayward pass out from the back by Revivo. He was part of that side that played England in the under-19 Euros final a year ago.
It's just the story so far of England in this game, apart from the goal. Just that final pass, and we see there, I think it was Curtis Jones, it might have been Morgan Gibbs White, tried to feed it to Emil Smith Rowe when Anthony Gordon was probably the right option to play. It's just that final pass. They get that right, they're going to score again, and it's going to be a comfortable evening.
Angel Gomez in midfield has just been caught. A really reckless challenge from behind from Henri Gandelman. He is down in need of some treatment. I think it's a back issue. Slightly surprised the referee didn't brandish a yellow card for that. Another long break in play. England leading by a goal to nil. Watching a replay now, it's a delightful ball played in by Palmer. Gibbs White had the run of Jabber, and it's a looping header planted over the top of the goalkeeper Zarfati to make it 1-0. England, as I mentioned, last won this tournament back in 1984, twice winners, having also lifted the trophy in 82.
That was also the last time they won their opening 3 fixtures in 1984, and they end up winning the tournament, so it's a good omen for them, because they've done exactly the same in the group this year, and they're looking like at the moment, barring any slight mistake or bad defensive unity and responsibility, that they could go all the way to the final without conceding.
We're going to see a double change here from Israel. Next time there's a stoppage in play. Anan Khalili, the Maccabi Haifa midfielder, is one of those being readied, and so too Idan Giorno. So Coach Luzon has seen enough early in this second half to suggest that reinforcements are needed. Israel haven't really been inside England's half of the field. They've won a free kick though for a foul by Gomez. Just inside their own half. It was a challenge on Oscar Kluk. Just caught him in the face, I think, Gomez, with the trailing left arm. Back now with Cohen going out to the left-hand side and Raviva. England 1, Israel 0 on talksport 2. Curtis Jones winning the ball back well, using his strength to shield it away from Gluck. Jones now on the edge of the centre circle, plays it out to the left-hand side, and Thomas, who will have a battle for his place once Johnson returns from suspension for the final. Both Aarons and Ben Johnson forced to sit this one out. We know that Jacob Ramsey will play no further part, might well be ruled out for the start of the new Premier League season, which is quickly approaching. The Aston Villa midfielder. Neat little layoff from Gibbs-White into Gomez. Gibbs-White on the edge of the area. Space to his left with Smith-Rowe. Gordon up in support. On the overlap, tries to cut it back and takes a ricochet off an Israeli defender and falls kindly into the arms of Zarfati.
Good play again from England. I think, again, the final ball, though, just wasn't quite good enough. I think Anthony Gordon tried to find Morgan Gibbs-White. It was a good idea, but it was well read by the Israel defenders. I think if you look, you said it, most of the Israel players play in Israel. When you look at Gluck, who's their best player, plays for RB Salzburg, so you know he's been monitored by a lot of big clubs. But if you look at the quality of the teams that English players play for in the Premier League, and if not, they're on loan to clubs in the Championship and League One, playing full seasons, they should be winning games like this.
Should be winning tournaments like this. That's their record at this level. All the more perplexing, bearing in mind you look at the success of the younger age groups, the under-17s, under Steve Cooper, the under-19s, winning their European Championship a year ago. Here is Smith-Rowe. Out to the left of the goal scorer Gibbs-White. He's trying to take on Jabir. Prodded to the edge of the box, but intercepted by Gluck. And Gibbs-White, in trying to win the ball back, has conceded a foul. And Israel now with the opportunity to make their changes. Eli Hurjaj is replaced by Khalili. Hurjaj really been able to get himself involved in the play. So to Hisham Laous, who is making way for the 18-year-old Giorno. So two like-for-like replacements, no change in the system for Israel. A couple of 18-year-olds coming on. We've played 56 minutes on talksport 2. It's still England 1, Israel 0. Israel have a free kick deep inside their own half, where they've spent much of this second half so far. England probably don't feel the need to force it too much in search of a second goal, given that impressive defensive record that we've alluded to, yet to concede in the tournament.
I think the half-time team talk would have been stay patient. You know, you're going to get opportunities. The game is going to open up as long as it stays 1-0. So don't give them any opportunity to get back in the game. Don't be sloppy. Keep possession. Just be patient. And when the game opens up, try and use it.
Here's Smith-Rowe over on that left-hand side. He's operating now. He's got Gibbs-White one side. Comes back to Gomez on the edge of the area. Gomez with a shot deflected. And it spins out of play on this near right-hand side for a throw. Again, it's been a very industrious performance from the former Manchester United man Gomez. Throw in taken quickly by Garner. Jones with a bit of space on the edge of the area into Gibbs-White. Flicks it again into the feet of Gomez. Back to Garner, having just taken the throw. Now Palmer. England passing the ball around neatly, but Gomez's touch was a poor one, and that will allow Israel to try and play their way out. England pressing very high, red shirts swarming around Gluck. He's got the footwork to almost keep possession before being dispossessed by Palmer. Here's Gordon into Gibbs-White, back to Gordon. Neat again from England. Can they find an end product? Curtis Jones forced away from goal by the attentions of Ajulai. And here is Harwood Bellis, the skipper, on halfway.
It's that final touch once again. I think it was Gomez this time, just didn't quite get the final ball, the final touch correct. As soon as they get that right, the game's going to open up and they'll score.
Here is Smith Rowe operating on the far side, staying out very wide in this second half early on. Jones bulldozing his way into the area, looking for Gordon. Important intervention that from Gandelman, because Gordon would have had a tap in him. He raced in behind. It's picked up now just inside the centre circle by Colwill. England impressing in the early stages of this second half. Palmer out to the right hand side, and Garner. Curtis Jones almost ran across him there as Garner was trying to get the ball into the area. So just has to keep possession on this near touchline. Garner again for England into Gomez.
Just sense an air of frustration when the ball goes down the wide, particularly the right hand side just then. It's happened on the left hand side with Curtis Jones. When the ball doesn't go into the box, I'm looking at the players in the box and they are looking a bit frustrated. I know they're small, but just put the ball in the box. You see with the goal, Gibbs White timed his run perfectly, ended up getting on the end of it. Throw the ball into the box, give them something different to think about other than the just intricate play in and around in front of them.
Gomez has been clever there as the ball was played into his feet, let it run across his body and almost drew the foul from Ethane Azulai. Gomez stays down, but
not having much luck, Gomez, is he?
Well, I think he knew what he was doing there. I think he was ready to be clattered, wins the free kick, and maybe just felt the knee in the upper thigh area.
He seems one of those players, Gomez, from just watching this game alone, that he likes to get stuck in. He knows where to put his body to attract a free kick, and that's a good trait to have as a midfielder.
Very robust player, Angel Gomez. Free kick for England. Opportunity to chip the ball into the area. Lee Carsley deep in conversation with Ashley Cole, the former Chelsea and England defender, part of the under-21 backroom team. Cole Palmer, having made the assist in the first half, plays in the free kick. Good header away by Lemkin. Again, Gomez doggedly trying to win it back for England, but he can't on this occasion. And Israel with a chance to counter potentially before Colwill steps in on the halfway line and plays it back to Curtis Jones, deep inside the England half away to our left. We played an hour, still Israel 0, England 1.
That's the one thing with England, they are quite a small side, and when you get set plays like that, I think they had Colwill up front, but they left Curtis Jones back, they left Harwood Bellis back. Two big players that you want in the box on a set play. So if they're not coming up, then you do need to try something different, and they're not doing that. And this time they threw it into the box, Cole Palmer, and it's just headed clear because Israel defenders are quite big.
Just looking at the options that England have on their bench, we've talked about Cameron Archer, maybe they come on and stretch a tiring Israel back line. Madueke certainly will want to play a part in this semi-final, maybe the likes of Harvey Elliott, the Liverpool midfielder as well, Ollie Skip, just to shore it up in midfield. No shortage of quality available for Lee Carsley, who has been linked to the Republic of Ireland job actually in the last week or so. Of course, he is a former Ireland international.
I think in terms of Cameron Archer, the defence is so deep. His defence was so deep with Israel that he would have struggled in the first half. So as you said, when the game does open up, he's the perfect player to come on and just try and get him behind, because he's got pace to burn, and he'll make those runs in behind. Maybe a Harvey Elliott as well to come on and try and play those intricate through balls. Just give some energy, some legs. Skip to shore it up is a good shout as well. But the one I want to see, and I spoke about in the first half, and I've spoken about him with you before, is Madueke. I think this game is opening up for him to attack particularly their left full back down the right hand side for England, and I think he'll create opportunities.
Because it is a relatively short turnaround as well between the semi-final and the final on Saturday. Only 4 days for England players to recover, recharge and get ready for their shot at glory, assuming they can see this one out. Here's Harwood Bellis well forward from the back. He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet, the central defender. He will probably have to leave Manchester City again this summer. It's going to be very difficult to force his way into that back line, particularly if they press ahead with the big money signing of Josko Gvardiol, the Croatian.
Maybe back to Burnley for a Premier League season, that would be perfect for him.
Very strong links, of course, between the two, with Vincent Kompany, the Burnley manager. That is Burnley Man City on the Friday night first game of the new Premier League season, live and exclusive on talksport.
Can't wait.
Soon come around. Here's Smith Rowe out to the right hand side, and Gibbs White, lovely back heel by Smith Rowe, and he plays it across the area, and it's been turned in at the far post by Palmer, but I think the flag may have gone up, and England's celebrations are cut short. Lovely move, great interplay between Gibbs White and Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe just slipped as he played it across the face of goal. Palmer ghosting it at the far post. Well, if the offside's against Smith Rowe, it will stand, and I think Palmer's onside as well.
Look, the Smith Rowe one looked very, very tight. I think that's what they've given. It's definitely going to be checked. It looked awfully tight. Brilliant play by Gibbs White and Smith Rowe, and great finish at the back post by Palmer. Great, like really tight angle, got that in. I think the initial, it's been given offside by Smith Rowe, but they're still checking it. It's very tight.
Well, my initial reaction was that he was level with the Israeli defender. I think it was Cohen, right in the centre of the area. The check goes on. We had that long VAR review when England were given a penalty in the first half that was missed by Gibbs White. We don't have the benefit, because this is a UEFA competition, of seeing the lines.
It's clearly tight though. It's clearly tight. They're taking a long time, aren't they? You've called it that it's onside. You say this is onside.
He looked on to me. Cole Palmer.
I think it's his right foot. I don't think it's Palmer. I think it's the Smith Rowe one. I think his right foot might be ahead, but this is going to be millimetres.
Well, this is game over, surely, if it is given. Some nervous looking Israeli players out there. Cole Palmer hoping that he's about to be awarded only his second under-21 goal.
This is taking so long. This could be given.
I think it will be given. 65 gone. At the moment, England leading by a goal to nil. Has Cole Palmer ghosted in at the far post to steer Lee Carsley's men into the final? That's the question that is being asked in the VAR room. Jill Cohen, the captain of Israel, is asking the Danish referee, why is this taking so long?
Pleading.
The longer it goes on, the more you feel the decision may well be overturned here on talksport 2.
It shouldn't take this long, let's face it. It shouldn't take this long. It's either on or off, whether it's millimetres or not. You draw the lines wherever they're looking at it, and it's on or off. It's fantastic play by England initially to create the chance, and I think it's the Smith Rowe one, but we're going to hear very, very soon.
And the referee has given the goal.
You called it.
England surely now are heading into the final. Cole Palmer makes it Israel 0, England 2. Scenes of jubilation for those in red. And surely, Darren Ambrose, no way back for Israel.
You called it. You said it was onside. You said it was level. I was just thinking maybe millimetres off. But you were right, and what a goal as well. We spoke about it. It's great play, little 1-2 from them. It was that one there, I think. I'm looking at his right foot, but it was great through ball across. And there was Cole Palmer to turn it in. And yeah, it's game over. Israel have to come at England now to try and get back in the game. Even getting back in the game won't be enough, and it's going to open up. This could be more than 2, this.
You have to say it's a really good finish from a tight angle on the slide, Cole Palmer. Just to guide the ball left-footed into the corner. I think in the end it was Khan Jaber who was playing Smith Rowe onside in the build-up. It took an eternity for the VAR room to come to that decision, but England 2-0 up and cruising into their first final at this level since 2009. Palmer created the first goal, he scored the second, and Israel simply going to have to come out of their shell now. Cross into the England area is volleyed away, right-footed by Ghana. And it's reward for England for a really impressive start to this second half. Cross from Israel straight into the arms of Trafford. It's pretty much his first touch since half-time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like you said, it's been a lot better, and we're just seeing the lines. I tell you what, that is so close.
It's almost the chest of Jabber that's playing Smith Rowe on.
It's the first opportunity we've got to see it, and it is. It's Smith Rowe's left foot, I believe, and it's been played on by Jabber's shoulder stroke chest. There's millimetres. We called it. You called it was on. I said it would be millimetres. You were right, and you know, fully deserved. Second half's been a lot better. And like we've both discussed, Israel have to change the game plan now. They have to come back, try and get 2-1, try and get a goal. And with England's defensive qualities, this could be a clean sheet once again. James Trafford will hope it's a clean sheet once again. And then a nice little last 25, half an hour to go to end up in a first final since, 2009?
Are you saying that if it doesn't work out for me in the radio world, that maybe a career as an assistant referee is beckoning?
Or in the VAR appointment for you? I think
you wouldn't have needed VAR. I'd have just given the goal. Israel 0, England 2. Some solemn faces now amongst those Israeli supporters inside the ground. We've got a stoppage in play here because of an injury to Dor Turgeman, just having the spray applied to his left knee. Lee Carsley taking a drink from his water bottle. England's seamless passage through this competition looks set to continue, courtesy of first half header from Morgan Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White having missed a penalty, and then Cole Palmer rounding off a fine passing move, albeit after a lengthy VAR review to double that advantage. And England, remember, will play the winners of the second semi-final later this evening, Spain against Ukraine, and that game will be live on talksport this Saturday tea time, 5 o'clock kickoff. We are very much looking forward to it. In England, very much the favourites, Darren Ambrose, to go on and lift the trophy.
You'd have to say, I mean, if you're looking at Ukraine versus Spain, you'd call that Spain would get that victory, but you never know in tournament football. It took a while for England to get a goal ahead of here, but you know, if it is England versus Spain, well, it is England versus Spain or Ukraine, I called it against Germany. I said England will be favourites to lift this trophy and win this tournament, and I still stand by that.
Favourites to go on and lift it for the first time, remember, since way back in 1984. I was 2 when England won this trophy.
2 years older than I was.
It's been a long, long way. But these young lions purring into the final.
Credit to Morgan Gibbs-White, by the way. He missed the penalty, would have been extremely disappointed. It was a poor penalty. We've already spoken about that. Got his goal, he's played well, and he was a key figure in that second goal as well, with the intricate passes. Ended up through ball to Smith Rowe, great cross ball to Cole Palmer, so credit to him. He's played extremely well.
I think he's a terrific player. I mean, eyebrows were raised when Forest committed to that £40 million transfer last summer. But the way that he ended the season, the way that he's played throughout this tournament, looks like money well spent. Cross into the England area, cleared away by Colwill. Good work down the right-hand side from Ajulai. And Colwill had to get there ahead of Turgeman and Jorno coming in at the near post. Throw in for Israel to be taken by the right wing-back, Karb Jabber. With just 19 minutes of normal time to play here on talksport 2. Another good ball in towards Jorno. Suddenly some urgency from the Israelis. Headed clear by Garner. Here is Gluck. Haven't really seen the best of him so far. The talented team. Revivo back into Gluck, but England well drilled behind the ball, and it's a good header clear by Colwill. Volleyed back into the box by Turgeman and stabbed away by the left back Luke Thomas. Here's Turgeman again, getting the better of Garner. Trying to work some space for the shot on the edge of the area, forced back into the centre of the England half, but this is arguably Israel's best spell, certainly the second half. It's played out to the left-hand side, and the wing-back Revivo. Garner did well just to get his body in between the ball and the byline. It's cleared upfield, and Gibbs-White now is grappling with the captain Cohen. Palmer helps it forward. Too overconfident from Curtis Jones with a Rabona pass. This one back on halfway now. by Ganderman for Israel.
I think you see the real difference in quality when the teams are going forward. You've seen with England, they can create opportunities out of nowhere. There was an opportunity there, Azulai, great pace going forward, had more time when he cut inside Luke Thomas.
Here's Smith Rowe finding Morgan Gibbs-White, space to his right, finds Anthony Gordon with a shot, should have been 3-0, saved by Zarfati, and then the flag goes up anyway.
Was he offside?
I think he was.
Good play, and like we said, they can create opportunities. Great through ball, yeah, he's definitely offside by about a yard, but the opportunity with Azulai going forward, he cut inside Luke Thomas. He had more time to dribble into the box, but he tried to play the early cross. It was easily cleared by England, and that's the difference in quality with teams. When England go forward, it looks like they're going to score. When Israel go forward, just looks like England are going to defend it.
Well, that was Anthony Gordon's last contribution as he makes way for Cameron Archer. Archer 11 championship goals from Middlesbrough on loan from Aston Villa last season. He's already off and running in this championship with a goal against Germany, and Harvey Elliott will be coming on as well. Another of the goal scorers in that game against Germany, and Emil Smith Rowe will be wrapped up in cotton wool for the final on Saturday.
Not a bad couple of players to be coming on. Cameron Archer was a key figure in the win against Germany, and obviously Harvey Elliott got his individual goal against Germany with the game I was doing co-coms on as well, and some quality players to be brought on in the last 25 minutes, 20 plus stoppage time of this game, and you can see them that they're going to be brought on to shore it up and maybe going on and win this game by a couple more goals.
Again, just highlighting the strength and depth that England have. Another change for Israel as well. Oz Bilavi is the player who is coming on. I think it was Azulai who made way. Looks a forlorn hope now for Israel in the final 15 minutes plus stoppage time. England leading by 2-0. Gibbs-White with a header in the first half, and Cole Palmer rounding off an excellent team move to double that advantage in this second. Here's Curtis Jones. You feel England have Israel exactly where they want them. Palmer on that left-hand side now. Was he clipped by the defender? He was. Free kick right on the edge of the area, and it's Bilavi's first contribution to concede the free kick.
I think the decision to move Cole Palmer to the left-hand side clearly worked, because it was him that scored the goal with his left foot at a real tight angle. I think any right-footed player on particularly at a tight angle like the goal that Cole Palmer scored would have been difficult to turn that in. So it was a genius move by Lee Carsley.
The official goal time of England's second 63 minutes. It was probably a good 3 minutes later when it was eventually given following that VAR check. Free kick here for England. Chance to send forward the likes of Harwood-Bellis and Colwill. It's going to be Gibbs-White to whip it in, right-footed from the left-hand side towards the far post. Colwill got on the end of it but could only usher it away from goal, and Israel with a chance to counter, but the tenacious Gomez sliding in to stop that counter in its tracks and concede a throw. It was one of the subs, Kalili, who was trying to break forward. Good challenge by Gomez. Another impressive performance in midfield.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Been extremely impressed by Gomez. He's not the biggest of players, but he loves to get stuck in there, and there's a great challenge on the counter-attack that Israel were creating. He's there to clear out the danger, and he's clearly doing that. I've been very impressive in this game.
After a frustrating opening 40 minutes or so, England have really showed their class and their quality. And that gap in the rankings has been clear for all to see. Israel will still return home with their heads held high. Having reached this stage, gives right with the shot from the edge of the area, but always rising. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Israelis.
Just patience, that's all England needed. They were always going to dominate the game in terms of possession, chances. Israel always going to sit deep trying to counter-attack, and Lee Carsley, I'm sure his message would have been be patient, and then at half-time be patient again. You're going to get opportunities. They're going to get more opportunities in this game in the last 15 minutes for sure.
A reminder once again, talksport and talksport 2, your home of the Women's World Cup. All of the Lionesses and the Republic of Ireland's games live on the network. All gets underway for England 2 weeks on Saturday as they take on Haiti. 10:30 a.m. UK time. We just seen an ambitious effort here from Curtis Jones, probably from only just inside the Israel half, spotting the keeper off his line, but well wide in the end. It's a goal kick for Israel, and more England changes. Ollie Skip and Noni Madueke will be coming on. Skip replacing Gomez in midfield. Madueke as a straight swap for one of the goal scorers, Morgan Gibbs-White. Again, Darren Ambrose, 2 high calibre replacements.
Yeah, you can see the quality. They've got to come off the bench. Ollie Skip will be there just to shore it up, just to try and keep hold of possession. Fantastic game by Gomez, maybe tiring out a little bit towards the end. And Ollie Skip will just come in, give a little bit of fresh legs, and then Madueke will just attack the fullback. A tired defence that Israel will be now. He'll attack them, he'll create chances. He may even go and try and look to kill off the game and get another goal. I think going back to before the subs, Curtis Jones looked, he won the ball just in his own half, dribbled into their half and just tried to chip the goalie, where the right option would have probably been to play Cameron Archer in behind, who was clear on goal. But if you don't hit those shots, I mean, you tell me many times about that, if you don't hit those shots, you don't score those worldies.
There's someone who didn't really deal in tap-ins, Darren Ambrose, former Crystal Palace, Charlton, Ipswich midfielder. 10 caps for the under-21s as well?
Yes, 10 caps. 3 goals, I believe.
Got them all on the chart, some. Your palatial pad.
Played, won a major tournament. It was a Toulon tournament for the 20s. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Peter Taylor was the manager. I think we got to the semi-final and ended up losing that, but love tournament football.
And this will be a learning curve and will set these young Lions in good stead should senior caps come their way. Here's Madueke, no doubt looking to catch the eye of the new Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino, and he's linking up with Elliott down the right hand side. Elliott's cross is blocked by the Israeli skipper Cohen. And they will try and come forward now and try and get themselves back in this game. Intercepted by Harwood Bellis on the halfway line. He's had a solid evening, the England captain. You can see why they boast such an impressive defensive record. That partnership between Harwood Bellis and Colwill has been mightily impressive, and they haven't allowed Israel a single shot on target yet. James Trafford really had the opportunity to show why Burnley are willing to pay £19 million for his services. He might get it now because Israel have got men over, and Levi Colwill was putting back Jorno. So booking for Colwill, having found himself out of position.
He was out of position, Levi Colwill. I mean, there's a question mark. He was the last man there as well. It'd have been harsh to give a red card, but
I think actually, if you look there, is it James Garner coming across on the cover?
You're right, he was covering, and he probably would have got there. There would have been question marks. Clear foul, clear yellow card. It was clever defending, actually, because he's obviously seen James Garner and felt enough that he was there enough to not allow the referee to give the red card, because otherwise he was in on goal potentially for a one-on-one.
Israel 0, England 2. James Trafford, who's been not much more than a spectator for the first 82 minutes, the England keeper, is eyeing Revivo, sizing up this shot. It's no more than about 8 yards outside the area, to the right of centre. They just placed the ball down, Revivo, as if he's looking for that valve to try and strike it goalwards. Trafford clinging to his near post at the moment. There are Israeli players in the penalty area. Casey opts to cross, but I think he's going to fire this in. Left-footed Revivo, and he does so towards the near post, and it hit the stanchion behind the goal. I think Trafford probably had it covered. As excited for a moment.
Trafford looked like he had it covered. He seemed to not be too fussed where that was going. From the angle we were at, it looked like it was heading on target and heading to Nessel, and then it hit the backboard, hit the back of the net, and I think a few of the supporters thought that may have nestled in the back of the net, but it wasn't to be. Still a clean sheet for James Trafford, and still no shot on target.
That would have given us a real grandstand finish, with 7 minutes plus added on time to go here on talksport 2. As it is, England still with a 2-goal advantage and placing the final at their mercy. Lemkin has just been shown a yellow card for a foul on Archer. Second Israeli booking, just Colwell in the book for England. He was all over Archer inside the centre circle. Lemkin, England with a couple of players in Ben Johnson and Max Aarons ruled out by suspension tonight. Israel without their goalkeeper after he picked up 2 yellow cards en route to the semis. Both Johnson and Aarons will be back in contention for Saturday's final. A reminder, live here on talksport, 5 o'clock kick-off. England, as it stands, taking on either Spain or Ukraine.
Missing a key player as well, England, as we know, Jacob Ramsey. Obviously no part left to play in this tournament through injury. He's been a key player in the first few games of this tournament as well.
Again, it's not great play out from the back by Stafford, and Israel might get an opportunity here inside the area. Giorno plays it back out to the right. Good ball by Gluck, and saved on the line by Trafford. Israel are claiming it crossed the line. Referee says no and has then given a foul against Gandelman. It was a brilliant ball, swept in by Gluck towards that far post area. It wasn't Gandelman with a header, I think it was Jaber coming in. Certainly didn't cross the line. But if you're of Israeli persuasion, you'll wonder where that type of play has been for the rest of the evening.
Absolutely, but it was England's poor play. I think James Trafford tried to play it out. It was intercepted by the Israeli midfielder. Ended up getting to Gluck. Great ball into the box. Good header. People will question the header, but I mean the positioning after the initial mistake from James Trafford ended up looking like a comfortable save, but that was all down to his positioning. Ended up hitting him. I think he's got to do better if you're an Israel player. You'll be expecting him to score that.
Here come England on the counter. Madueke crying out for a ball in space on the right hand side, didn't reach him. Cole Palmer with a cross blocked behind for a corner. It's a powerful run from Ollie Skip at the start of that move. Skip, who's been talking this week about cutting short his post-tournament holiday to get back at Spurs and try and impress the new manager Ange Postecoglou. Will be a corner for England from that left-hand side. Cole Palmer made the goal in the first half for Gibbs White, scored the second himself. He is going to take it. There are only 4 minutes to play. Levi Colwell is on his knees inside the area, claims that he'd been put there by Khalili. The referee tells him to get back on his feet. Still a bit of pushing and shoving going on between those two, and Colwell far from happy, screaming at the assistant referee on this near side.
Just got to get on with it if you're Colwell. Don't get involved.
Garner to float in the corner kick. Comes down for Madueke. Well blocked by Zlevy. It's picked up now by Curtis Jones in the left-back position for England. Time running out for Israel to mount any sort of comeback and deny England their place in the final. Jones twisting and turning away from the attention to Giorno. Up to Harvey Elliott. The Liverpool midfielder plays a gorgeous pass out to the left-hand side. Palmer in acres of space. He's got Archer in the centre. Might go alone here. Cole Palmer, he's been forced wide by Jaber. Plays it through the legs of the defender. Just held onto it for a few seconds too long, and then Palmer concedes a free kick as he tries to regain possession, and he bundles over Bill Avey.
Has to do that earlier, Palmer. I know he's looking for glory, in my opinion, trying to cut inside and get the goal, but it's great crossfield pass by Harvey Elliott. Made a brilliant run as well to get a return pass. Just done a bit too much, Cole Palmer.
Another opportunity maybe for Israel. Blocked by Skip. The initial effort from Revivo, still alive. The ball at the feet of Oscar Gluck, and now picked up by Turgaman down by the corner flag, but he's been robbed of possession by Madueke, and he quickly gobbles up the ground. Madueke, and he's into Israeli territory. Poor touch at the end of it, and Israel momentarily had it back, although it's Curtis Jones who knocks it out for a throw-in.
They're making hard work of it in the last 5 minutes, England, and they're going to expect this. Israel are going to try and just attack, because that's what they need to do. They need to get back in this game. They're 2-0 down. They're about to go out of the semi-final. England are about to progress. They need to do more, England, just to see this game out. Game management.
Tommy Doyle is coming on for England. And Israel are making a couple of changes as well. Turgaman, one of those who makes way. On comes Abu Rami. And Gandelman has also made way for A&N Ferretti. Doyle on for Curtis Jones with the England change. Doyle, who was on loan at Sheffield United last season, helped them to promotion to the Premier League, scored that stoppage time winner against Blackburn in the FA Cup, following the footsteps of his granddad, who was a cup winner with Manchester City. We're into the last minute of the 90. It remains England 2, Israel 0 here on talksport 2. Been just about the perfect evening for Lee Carsley. Could be about to get even better, because there's a chance here, and it's been smashed in by Cameron Archer. And if there was any doubt, England's young lions are roaring into the under-21 European Championship final. Cameron Archer with the unerring finish beyond Zarfati to make it England 3, Israel 0.
Brilliant by England. Great goal. We said the game will open up. It's a little bit later than we thought it would, but there we are. Cameron Archer played Cole Palmer in. This time made the right decision, cut it back to Cameron Archer, and a fantastic finish, it has to be said. He hasn't hit the corner, he's just hit it hard and high into the middle of the goal, and Zarfati had no chance. 3-0, thoroughly deserved, could have been more. The substitutes have come on and made a real difference, and this game's over, and England are now into the final.
Well, he points the name on the back of his shirt, Archer, and then brings out the imaginary bow and arrow. It's his second goal of the tournament, and it wraps up a comfortable win in this semi-final as we move into 4 added minutes. And after a frustrating first half, and they took a long time, England, to break Israel down, it's been a really impressive second half performance.
Fantastic. As we said, the substitutes come on, made a big difference as well. Needed fresh legs. That's what you get in tournament football. We do get tired legs. They needed fresh legs. Cameron Archer, full of confidence, involved in all the goals against Germany as well. Unselfish. This time got on the end of the pass by Cole Palmer, who's also scored a goal and an assist, and it's thoroughly deserved. It could have been more. Israel were starting to cause problems to get back into the game. It's game over now.
Here's Madueke. England hunting for more in stoppage time. Madueke just couldn't quite get beyond Cohen, and the Israeli captain has to play the ball behind for a England corner. He certainly looked like he's had a point to prove, Madueke, since coming on. Here's Garner on the edge of the area, short corner routine. Pass just forces Elliott a bit wide. And in no real hurry to get the ball inside the box, just keeping possession, winding down the clock. It would take a miraculous turn of events in these final couple of minutes of stoppage time for England to be denied.
There's some tournaments so far, 10 goals scored, no goals conceded in 5 games. I mean, it's an incredible turnaround from what happened last time under Adi Boothroyd, and it's a credit to Lee Carsley, Ashley Cole, Les Scott, all the coaching staff. It's a credit to them to get this team together The substitutions, as I said, the changes that have been made, everyone plays their part. Even the players that are not playing their part in terms of on the pitch are clearly playing their part off it in terms of the squad, and that's a credit to everyone involved.
And that penalty miss from Gibbs White in the first half seems a long time ago now. Harvey Elliott, good strength from the stocky Liverpool midfielder, tries to play the ball out to Madueke. Oh, clever play from him into the box here. Madueke again forced wide. That's a really good challenge by Cohen, the captain, and the ball is behind for an England corner.
That's exactly what I'm talking about with Madueke. It is a great challenge by the Israeli defender Cohen. Brilliant sliding challenge, but as soon as Madueke gets the ball, all he wants to do is attack. You don't often see that. You didn't see that in the first half with Palmer, with Emil Smith-Rowe. They like to drift inside. Madueke gets the ball, one thought in his mind: attack the fullback, try and create an opportunity, try and create a chance, try and create a shot. Love to see that with wide players.
Lee Carsley, arms folded. He's a very satisfied coach. We're into the last of 4 added minutes. England leading by 3-0. Palmer with a corner. Not comfortably dealt with by Israel, but they have ushered the ball away. Here's Gluck now, down the left-hand side. Tracked all the way by Madueke. And England have it back with Elliott. I think the foul has been given against Madueke. One last opportunity for Israel to try and get what would be no more than a consolation goal. Ferretti has put the ball down just inside England territory. Cohen, the skipper, all eyes on the Danish referee, and England have won it back, and they've got 5 against 5 situation here right at the end of the game, but no time. The full-time whistle sounds.